Hello everyone. I'm Rituparna Bhaumik from Grow Junction and also a student of MDI Murshidabad. And today we have with us Nitesh Jupalli. Hi Nitesh, how are you?
Hi Ritu, I'm very good. What about you?
I'm also very good. Nitesh is a student of IIM Shillong. Prior to that, he was working in Hexagon as a software engineer for almost 3 years. Also, he has a keen interest in sports as well as politics. Apart from that, Nitesh is a vivid listener and a very enthusiastic and about the positiveness around. Also, he has unturned coming to new opportunities and development. Also, he is a foodie, traveler, and also a keen observer of people's mind. So, Nitesh, before we begin, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure, Ritu. So currently I'm from Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. So I did my schooling here, and even my plus one and plus two was here. And after that, I did my JE mains and I got into NIT Warangal. So I did my chemical engineering there. And after that, I worked for 3 years, as you said. And after that, the cat happened, and fortunately, it went well. And now I'm at IIM Shillong and waiting for what the future unfolds.
Right. Okay, so Nitesh, what made you think of switching a career from a technical background to that of a business background, like a software engineer, and now coming to this background, and that too in IIM? So, what made
Yeah,
you do this?
sure. So the seeds of this started in BTech itself, where I was in various clubs, and even I was a head of sponsorship committee in my college. So I used to manage people, and somehow the MBA was on cards when I was in BTech, but I was not sure about it because I didn't know anything about how to get into a college, what happens there. So after that, I thought, why not taste the corporate for some time? So I thought, I got a good placement, and after that, I thought, we'll get to know about different verticals in a company, how a sales team works, how the HR department works. And I had a very good experience, to be frank. And I worked with different business leaders who obviously did their MBA,
Right.
and their problem solving skills, and how they approach a problem and stuff. So I was very inspired from them. And even I had confidence that even I can be like them, or I can do stuff like that. So
Right.
these two things were my driving force. One was the inspiration, and the another was confidence in me. So I thought this is the right time for me to go for an MBA.
Okay.
And yeah, so there was a fire inside me that drove me to study for CAT even after working for 8 or 9 hours in the college.
Right.
So finally it turned out to be a good one. Yeah.
Okay, great, great. Because I have few friends, okay, and they are working, and they are like so skeptical about the fact that they won't be able to work at the same time and do their preparations for CAT. So is that manageable, like from that perspective, if you see?
Yeah, it is manageable, but it definitely somewhat depends on your job. How your
Right.
job is. Is it a fixed? Are you maintaining fixed hours, or your work is getting prolongated? So the thing
Right.
is, you have to manage. Definitely, when I used to work, I used to travel. There was no pandemic, so
Okay.
definitely I used to
Hmm.
go to office. So after coming from office, from through that traffic, and opening that laptop and writing mocks, sitting for 3 years and writing a mock, that itself was very irritating for me. Right? Sitting for 3 hours and
Yeah.
concentrating after working for whole day. So
Right.
somehow you got to have some fire behind you. Definitely something has to drive you. Then only you can do
Definitely.
things like this. So yeah, I wanted to become a business leader, so that force was constantly pushing me, and that made me
Hmm.
study. But it's definitely you need a driving force, or else somehow or other you procrastinate, and you lose the journey which you have been.
Exactly. Like after earning for 3 years in a row and then leaving that job for a career, that too in education again, is a very big thing, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, I believe that getting into an IIM, you need to have a really good profile, right? Like, apart from your academics, you need to have like other curricular activities as well in case of your profile building. Apart from your academics, what was that thing which you were really interested in?
Academics is very important, but mind you, I had very bad academics in BTech,
Okay.
but still I could steer through and get into an IIM. I'll tell you about it. But about extracurricular, yes, you need to have, because the first thing to get into any college is you have to perform well in exam. So that
Right.
depends on you, because it's in your hands. But coming to the profile, you can't change it overnight. So wherever you are, you need to have some extracurricular activities or some interests per se. Suppose in my BTech, I used to get into every competition, or any other club or an opportunity. So I used to focus more on extracurricular than studies.
Okay.
So
Right.
I had a good amount of extracurriculars in my college. Like I played cricket, I was part of some club and committee.
Yeah.
So that was very helpful in my profile, to be frank. When I
Okay.
used to attend for interviews, the thing used to revolve around my extracurriculars more than why my academics are. So that depends on you, how you want to steer your interview towards where you are good at.
Hmm.
And to be good at something else, you need to have something on your resume or on your profile. So
Right.
those are going to help for sure. If you
Okay.
don't have any extracurricular, I'll advise you to tell about your interest openly to interview. Tell him that I'm very interested in this. I follow it every day. It's like a, and you need to have complete knowledge on it. Don't go with half-baked knowledge, because you're going to be busted there.
Yeah.
You'll be caught, and it will be a very bad situation. So tell the things which you know of, and if you don't know, kindly prepare about it. Prepare about your interest, and please showcase that in interview.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. Yeah, because they want to see that how connected or how interested you are. Your perseverance matters, right? Yeah, correct.
Obviously, they need a people who have knowledge all around, not just
Right.
bookworms, not
Hmm.
just people who want to sit and study or stuff. They need people who have seen the world,
Yeah.
who have some perspective on some world. See, if there is something happening around the world, you should have some perspective. Is
Right,
it good?
right.
Is it bad? And you should
Yeah.
have some knowledge about it and a sound reason for you to believe in that. So
Correct.
definitely that will help anywhere you go.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. Correct. Okay, so you just said that you were not that great in your academics, like in grads, right? So the grads marks, do they really matter when you are going for an interview or a selection in this IIM or any other B schools?
Yeah, so they matter a lot, to be frank.
Okay.
And I used to ponder upon it a lot. I was even in depression sometimes, that why I didn't perform well in BTech, even before CAT and even during interviews. So
Okay.
before CAT, even when preparing for CAT, I used
Hmm.
to have self-doubt. Keep I have very less academics, and I have to score. Even 100 percentile will not fetch me calls from some colleges with my academic score.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I was way down with that, but you can't change it. So
Okay.
it's a fact, and you can't change it. So I thought, just forget it for a while. Give your best in CAT. Give your
Yeah.
best in interview. Convert your best call. So that was the only thing that was lingering in my mind. And academics do matter, but also there are colleges which give less weightage to interviews.
Hmm.
Sorry, less weightage to acats and more
Okay.
weightage to interviews and your how you speak and all.
Right.
So you can't change your acats. So forget about it. Do your best in cat. Do your best in interview, and convert your best call. That's what.
Yeah, right. Interview matters. Yeah, in quite there are so many B schools where they judge you only on your interview thing and your communication skills, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, what do you think? Like, getting into a tier one college, does that matter anyway? By not getting into a tier one college and getting into a tier two or tier three college, so will that matter a lot in your professional background after your MBA?
So I would say it would matter a lot for short term, but not for long term. Because
Yeah.
short term, you have a good peer group here. you have good faculty, obviously, and you have good opportunities coming to the campus. So
Right.
obviously the short-term assets are good, to be frank, but not
Yeah.
that you can't achieve what a Taiwan guy has achieved if you're in tier 2 or tier 3. Because
Right.
even if you're in tier 2 or tier 3, when you have the zeal to do the best, you'll
Yeah.
somehow gain knowledge. At the end of the day,
Right.
you need knowledge.
Right.
And one more golden egg in MBA is network. So when you build good
Network.
network,
Right.
there will be some doors open for you. I wouldn't say it would matter, I mean, 100%, but it would be a good thing to have a network. And then with your, of course, with your knowledge and skills, you can go anywhere and join anywhere. So short term, I would say yes, but long term, no. Long term, it depends on you and your zeal.
Exactly. It's somewhere how the student performs, right? Like be it any college, if the zeal is there, so he or she can achieve it, right?
And even
Yeah.
due to my academics, I thought even if I go into tier 2 college, I thought I was confident enough that I would compete with any other guy who is studying in any other B school. So I thought,
Right.
long term matters more than short term. So I thought, even if
Huh.
I wouldn't have got IIM Shillong, I would have joined, and I had the confidence that I could do difference.
Okay, so like apart from IIM Shillong, what are the other IIMs or any other B school you were interviewed for?
So I had my best call was SPJ. So and I got waitlisted at around 40 or 50. I got missed by 10 or 20 people, and
Okay.
I was hit by my BTech marks, and
Okay.
and I had calls from IIT Bombay and IIT Kharagpur. I
Oh,
converted both,
nice. Yeah.
and I had IIM Shillong
Mm-hmm.
and all the IIMs beneath that. So
Okay.
somehow I like the pedagogy of IIM Shillong, and how the way it's growing, and everything about it. So I thought, and it also focuses more on general management.
Hmm.
It focuses on all-round influence of a candidate. So I thought this would be a good start for me for my business career. So I thought, I'll go for IIM Shillong.
Okay, so that's how you filtered out your preference, right? Like from
Yeah,
SPJ and IITs.
yeah.
Okay,
Filter out was first, focus more on the colleges which have good interview criteria
right.
and which focus more on your profile.
Yeah.
What are the extracurriculars you have done and that stuff. So in that way, Shillong was my best call. So
Okay.
and fortunately, it turned out well. Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. So now, do you think that if like if you're not getting into an IIM, so getting into no like it's not oh definitely IIM is a brand, be it any. But do you think like getting into other B schools which are not IIM matters?
I think, see, brand is one part, and
Yeah,
again, it boils down to you. Suppose you have a good brand in you, you go
right.
to a good place, and you don't perform well. Obviously, you'll be doomed. So the thing is, again, I would say the same thing. There are many good colleges other than IIMs. I don't want to name them, but even everybody know. But the thing is, short-term asset will always be there with the brand. But in the long term, if you want to grow, if you want to sustain an industry,
Yeah,
if you want to reach the heights which you want to, you definitely need to have your things set right. You can't just sail through only with the brand. It may
correct.
take you
Yeah.
some distance, but after that, you'll be doomed for sure.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Okay, so like,
Yeah.
what was the toughest question among all the colleges you have been interviewed at? So, what was the toughest question you felt was asked to you in an interview, and how did you overcome it?
Okay, so the toughest question I think was
Yeah.
asked during my IIM Shillong interview. So as I said, as I was interested in politics and cricket, so the
Yeah.
professor thought, he thought in a clever way, he came, with both of the topics. He thought,
Okay.
like I think it was during second wave. There was an IPL happening.
Okay, yeah.
and there were many critics, asking whether IPL should be conducted at this point of time when many people are dying in the country. So he asked me the same question. So do you support IPL being conducted during the second wave? So
Okay.
it was a very controversial question,
Yeah,
and
I
he
agree.
was ready to counterattack me. So
Yeah.
I just said yes. Why not? It is generating good employment to people,
Hmm.
and for people who are sitting at home, it's a good entertainment. And I thought of things like this, and just I was supportive of the IPL and the things were going. So suddenly he was against it. So
Okay.
he started counter-attacking me. And
Yeah.
at this point of time, I thought I was doomed. My interview is gone. But you need to have patience. So I just kept quiet. I
Yeah.
kept listening to him. And he was telling his views, and I was really astonished. He was correct. So I thought I was wrong at the end of his reasons.
Okay.
And due to that, I think he thought this guy listens well. And
Okay. Yeah.
I think this was the turning point in my interview. So I thought, I think you may think that your interview didn't go well, but
Mm-hmm.
actually something else. So just be
Yeah.
patient. Just go in line with what interviewer wants. Don't try to counterattack or negate him. So stay on your ground and
Yeah.
listen to what he's saying.
I think that's how they try to grill us and
Yes.
see what actually how we'll be performing in our later professional careers and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
he thought I will counterattack him, but
Okay, yeah.
instead I was just listening to him for
Okay.
I think he spoke non-stop for 8 minutes, I guess. So I was just listening for 8 minutes. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. He must also be a cricket fan, I guess. Then.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Okay. So, like amidst all this hectic schedule which we have in this B school, right? So, do you still have the time to pursue your interest in sports and things? Like, do you still manage to somehow get time for your sports or cricket?
Yeah, I would be honest at this, but when you join your MBA, the
Yeah,
first 3 months will be, very tough. You have to say
I
the truth.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's needed. The grill is needed because
Hmm.
you will get ready for whatever is coming ahead of you. So
Correct.
you'll learn to sit for hours. You learn to deal with many people. How to
Hmm.
work as a team and how to multitask. There are many things you can learn. You can learn in those just 3 months. And I think after some 3 or 4 months, it will be somewhat. It's okay. It's manageable.
Mm-hmm.
And while you are in college, you'll have different things there. So you can obviously go for playing or you can do anything. But first
Right.
3 or 4 months, I think it will be difficult. But after that, I think it's okay. You can
Yeah,
pursue
we
whatever you want.
adapt to the situation, right? Like, yeah,
Exactly.
slowly, steadily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so actually, I just last couple of days, I was speaking to a friend of mine, and she was like, she is appearing. She had appeared for CAT in 2021, and she'll be joining some B school this year itself. So she was like very underconfident. She is very underconfident. Like she's not having the confidence to come up in an interview and speak so fluently. And I think this is not a problem of hers. There are many such students who are still very, they get nervous. It gets on their nerves and stuff. So do you have any tips or like, can you give them which can build their confidence?
Yeah, sure. So even I was a kind of underconfident, but I was confident of my fluency, but I was not
Okay.
confident of the stuff I could speak.
Okay.
So for that, you have to read your newspaper. That helped me
Mhm.
a lot. At
Okay.
any cost, I would say, I think 1 or 2 months before your interview, start reading newspaper. And I would say even before the CAT because that helps in your verbal. And newspaper is one good thing because you'll know about the things happening around and you'll also form an opinion around it. And that is one
Okay.
good thing. And the next thing is do as many mocks as possible.
Yeah.
Find a person who has already steered through all this, who succeeded through all this. He'll
Mm-hmm.
have some good points to tell you, he'll guide you through. So pick
Hmm.
one of that person
Mhm.
and have as many mocks as possible. Every possible question. You have to note down every possible question.
Yeah.
Have a good have a good answer to it. Have a good reason towards it.
Okay.
And the other thing is, there are some shortcomings in your resume and profile. Just like my BTech score, you'll have something else.
Hmm.
So get ready to face that, because some of the other way that's going to pop into your interview.
Right.
They're
Right.
simply going to ask what happened to you, why did this happen to you, and all. So have a good reason behind it.
Okay.
Ask the people who have stayed through interview. Ask them, what did you say for this? What can be the answer for this? So I think preparing for interview is more difficult than preparing for CAT.
Yeah.
And CAT, at least you know the syllabus, but interview you don't know the syllabus. There's no syllabus
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you'll some profs, they'll put under a lot of pressure. They want
Hmm.
you to fumble, and you know.
Yeah.
So, but fumble, you should be ready with all the questions that can be asked. Have a good story behind it. Even if you're telling a lie, tell it. You
Right.
know, take it
Yeah.
till make it.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So be honest also. That is also there, and this is also there. But it's
Yeah.
like take it till make it. That's all. You have to
Yeah.
have a good answer to every possible question,
Hmm.
and that way you'll automatically develop confidence. If you do, I think 5 or 6 mocks,
Hmm.
definitely your confidence will build up. And when you are good with your profile and everything, I think you can steer through. There's no difficulty in that.
Okay, yeah. As now we already spoke about mock. So, during your preparation, which you felt was the toughest subject among the three, like LRDI, Quant, or English? Which was the
Yeah,
toughest for you? Yeah.
I, I was very weak in verbal. I'm very frank.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, but I was equally strong in quant and LRDA. So
Yeah.
even in mocks, I used to get negatives in verbal sometimes.
Hmm.
I couldn't sleep for many days. There were days when I never used to talk with anyone. So those things are part of the process.
Right.
And I had confidence that I'll do the best on D-Day. So I kept working hard. I kept reading newspaper. But the good thing was I never used to think much about quant and LRDA because I was kind of strong in it.
Hmm.
And for the verbal part, I used to talk with many people who cracked verbal, got 99 or 100 in verbal. But
Okay.
during all that process, I came to know that everybody have their own process to crack verbal. So everybody, some were good at verbal from childhood, the things like that. But
Yeah.
all those process didn't work for me
Okay.
because I was different. Everybody is different. You can't
Correct.
just copy the other strategy and you can think you can crack it. No. So my
Right.
verbal was below par, to be frank, and
Okay.
I worked literally very hard. I used to do 2 or 3 passages every day,
Hmm.
and even before day of CAT exam, I got single digit in verbal when I wrote a mock. So
Okay.
things turn out to be very bad sometimes, but
Hmm.
it's not that all your hard work never goes in vain. So your hard work
Right.
sometime will have the fruit.
Hmm.
So fortunately, the on during CAT, I was very mindful, and I kept only the options which I was very confident of, and
Hmm.
somehow I sailed through to get around 84 percentile and
Hmm.
99 plus in other 2 sections, but 84 percentile in verbal. So somehow I
Okay.
sailed through. I
Yeah.
got through the CAT,
Okay.
and yeah, because I did my work, and it was I was happy with what I got actually
Yeah.
in verbal.
Right. Yeah, yeah. And that year was the first year, I guess, when the pattern changed from three
Yes,
hours
yes,
to
that's
that
right.
2 hours, no? And it was even more
Yeah,
dicey. Like people were all going gaga over the fact that, oh my God, and abhi hona
yeah.
tha kya? Yeah, yeah. I
And we
agree.
knew that till the exam got started. After the
Oh,
exam got started,
really?
when we
Okay.
got the instructions, we knew
Huh.
that it was 40 minutes,
Yeah.
but we didn't know what was the pattern, how many questions.
Yeah, 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 right.
That was a
Right.
kind of,
because that was the
So
first year and there were no reference papers or questions as well for the
yeah.
same thing. Yeah. Yeah, correct. Okay. And then, what was the biggest challenge for you so far from like coming around from this become being a software engineer to landing into this B school? You
Yeah,
feel is the biggest challenge?
I would say uh, because I had interest, so
Yeah.
I was very happy learning different subjects, mathematics, finance, and all. But it's the same process for everyone. But especially
Yeah.
for engineer like me who didn't work on Excel during my work experience,
Okay.
so that was a impediment for me to be sure, because after
Mm-hmm.
coming here, people were very good at Excel. They use some
Hmm.
formulas and stuff. I never knew that all. So I
Hmm.
had to work for extra to match up with those guys, learn some good things in Excel. But ultimately, I'm having fun now. Now
Yeah.
I now that I know some good amount of Excel, I'm having good fun. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that one thing is there, but obviously you'll enjoy being in a B school.
Yeah.
You have different people, different things to learn from different kinds of people. So
Yeah.
only Excel part was there, but I don't think others will trouble you much.
Yeah. I believe now Excel is the savior, right? Like, be it
Yeah.
anything. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, some of our viewers who will be watching this, they'll be from the humanities background as well, right? Like arts background. So, will they find any difficulty from changing their background from humanities to business? Do you think so?
No, I don't think. I think the people who have diverse background are being preferred much by companies. That's what I have seen. Recent
Okay.
trend I have seen. Companies are preferring people other than engineers. Slowly, the trend
Hmm.
is changing. So even
Right.
the colleges have started hiring people from diverse backgrounds rather than engineers. If you would see,
Hmm.
the engineers percentage is coming down uh, over the years, and I've seen a huge change in my batch compared to senior batch. My
Hmm.
batch has lawyers, doctors, uh, you know, you name them and they are there in my batch. So,
Yeah.
people from 28 states and, I think many professions, you name it and they are there. And and they got, good roles in summer internships. So,
Okay.
that shows how companies are preferring people from diverse backgrounds. Yeah. So I think that's a very good plus point for you to pursue
Right.
MBA.
Okay. Wow. That's something very nice to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you have any suggestions that you would like to give to the students who are currently preparing for their GDPIs this year?
Yeah. So coming to GD, I would like to say a few points, because especially in the online scenario, GD it's very difficult to crack. There's no doubt in that, because people will be shouting at a time and you don't get a chance to creep in and tell your words. But I would say
Right.
be patient. You'll get a chance when you can speak. But when you speak the impact point. Don't just blabber
Right.
around.
Right.
Give your impact point, very good point, and keep listening to others. And I would say it would be a very plus point if you conclude the GD. Take that
Okay.
onus on you. Take that onus on you. Even if you have spoken less in whole of the GD,
Mm-hmm.
go and give the conclusion, because
Okay.
the time will be ticking.
Hmm.
People will not mind that. People will keep on speaking, but you keep track of time.
Right.
And when I think at last 1 minute or something, tell the people that time is getting over. So
Okay. Yeah.
let me conclude. So because you are listening to everyone,
Hmm.
now we have good solid 1 minute
Okay.
to combine all the points what people have said,
Mm-hmm.
and give your conclusion. I think that will be a very good impact at last. You'll have a very good score, I think. And even the interview will get to know that this guy was listening throughout, even though he
Okay.
spoke less. Even though he
Mm-hmm.
spoke less, he was listening to everyone. And at last, when you conclude, he'll also understand that you have some opinion towards the topic. So that will be one good thing. And I would also suggest to see into the camera every time. Don't just
Okay.
see here and there. That will
Okay.
be a negative point as far as I have seen. Be
Okay.
on the screen, be concentrated on the screen. Don't see, you know, other sides. And yeah, I think these 2 points are enough. I think in an online
Hmm.
GD to get through.
Right.
And as I said, for the PI, go through newspaper, do as many mocks as possible, and try to create some story for your shortcomings. Be ready to
Hmm.
face questions on them. And yeah, and the suggestions include like, uh, based on my experience, the first and foremost, don't leave your job for CAT preparation. uh, I have said
Okay.
this to n number of people, and I'll say this for eternity. Don't leave your job for CAT preparation. If your job is hectic and tiresome, try to switch to another job, but don't leave your job for CAT preparation. And
Okay.
yeah, and focus on your positives.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have shortcomings in your profile, you can't change it today.
Right.
So you have some good points also. As I have said, focus on your interests. Bring them to limelight. Tell the interviewer that I'm very good at this.
Okay.
Bring him to that stage. Steer your interview towards that side. Play smart. Don't let him
Right.
be on the other side. Bring him to your side. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Great. These were some very good tips. Okay. So, before wrapping up, I'll just ask one question, which you said that you shouldn't leave your job for the preparation, CAT preparation, right? Either we can switch to another job if it's too hectic. So, why do you feel so? But there are people, they don't feel so comfortable in preparing as at the same time working. So, won't that be um, very hectic for them? Not so manageable at times.
I would say, yeah, it will be hectic. So start your preparation quite early. If the exam is
Okay.
in November, start it January or February itself when your job is hectic.
Mm-hmm.
Because steer way. So find some way. You have to find some way to sustain. You can't just
Okay.
because CAT is a dicey exam. You don't know how, if one section fails, if you
Mm-hmm.
do bad in one section, it's that damn 5 or 6 minutes. 5 or 6 minutes is enough to spoil a section.
Right.
So if that one section spoils, your cutoff is going to you're not going to cross the cutoff, and you'll miss every B school. I would say every good B school, because every good B school has a cutoff.
Okay. Yeah.
So without any hesitation, I would say, being a dicey exam, don't try to leave your job. Try
Hmm.
to cultivate that habit every day to work and to study. And I would say you should have fire to steer way. And even I had,
Right.
so somehow build that fire. And
Okay.
definitely you're going to make it. There's no issue in it.
Okay. Yeah. That was great. Okay.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much, Nitesh, for joining us. I know how
Thank you.
hectic
Thank
it
you.
is to manage everything, academics, presentations. Again, there are so many other things to do, and again, coming and
Yeah.
giving us time. It was very good indeed, and I'm very sure that our viewers they'll be intrigued by each and every tip you have shared here, and they'll definitely impart some knowledge from it. And do you
Yeah.
want to say some last parting words for our viewers or the students who are preparing for their GDPIs? Anything?
Yeah. I would say, you have crossed, I think, 20 or 30% of the obstacles. And I would say this is the toughest point, and this is where you need to have your dedication and commitment.
Yeah.
just just have a good story behind all your shortcomings. That's what I wanted to say. That's what I tell to everyone.
Right.
If you don't have any loopholes in your profile, well and good, you're good to go. You just need to be confident and you have to speak. But if
Right.
you have something which I had, like my BTech point,
Okay. Hmm.
don't run away. Have some story built upon it.
Hmm.
Don't see it as you can't get into a B school because you had that. No. Some B schools take people. Even I have seen people with 5 or 6 pointers in my college and who
Yeah.
got placed in very good companies. So that's not at all an impediment as you think. there are many good B schools which will take you even if you have less part. So don't worry about it. Build a story upon, be confident, and I think definitely we'll get through.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nitesh. It was lovely
Thank you,
having you,
Ritu.
talking to you. Yeah.
Yeah, even I enjoyed the discussion. Thank you, Ritu, and thank you to Grow Junction also for this opportunity.